So the dreaded midlife weight gain, particularly around the belly. Now, every day we hear in our communities people complaining about this weight gain and wondering what to do about it. And there's so many scams out there promising that you can get rid of your belly in 7 days. It's never going to happen because unless you treat the underlying cause of this weight gain, then that weight is just not going to shift. So let me explain exactly what's happening in your body. So when we're younger, we're moving all the time, right? So we're active and the calories that we consume during the day, we burn off. Now, what happens as we get older, we slow down, we don't move as much, and we either eat the same or more as we age. And this ends up being what we call, and scientists call, an energy excess. So we're getting too much energy from our calories, and the body has to store it somewhere. Now, this is a really slow and insidious effect that happens over many, many years. And what happens, we set up something called this metabolic syndrome, where our body becomes less sensitive to insulin. We get elevated levels of cortisol from too much stress and not sleeping very well. Our hormones start to shift and change and reduce. And that all adds up to this metabolic syndrome where our body is not working as efficiently as it used to, and we're giving it too much energy. So it's storing it, particularly around our belly is a really common area. And unless you address that metabolic syndrome, that weight is never going to shift. 100%. No matter what you do, unless you starve yourself and you over-exercise, that will work. Or if you take Ozempic, same situation. But it's a really difficult road that you've got to go down to allow that to happen. So instead of thinking about what are these extremes, think about how do I correct this metabolic syndrome? And we do that through a process of healthy living. So the 4 pillars we talk about in our book: diet, exercise, sleep, and mindfulness. But we can also manage these situations of making our body more sensitive to insulin. We can reduce our cortisol levels. We can improve our liver function. We can regulate our hormones. We do all this with supplements, diet, and lifestyle. But it needs to be a holistic approach. And you need to start to do it now because metabolic syndrome is the first piece in the puzzle towards chronic disease and inflammation. So things like diabetes, heart disease, dementia are all driven by metabolic syndrome. It's the first thing that happens. It's a canary in the coal mine that is telling us that our body is not working as efficiently as it used to be, and we need to improve these metabolic situations that are occurring in our body, because the weight gain is just a sign of that. It's not because just you've been eating too much and not moving. That has set up a metabolic syndrome that has many knock-on effects. So if you want to correct this, the first thing you're going to do is understand that it's not an overnight fix. It's not a weekly fix, but it's a 6-month fix where you eat the right food, you start to exercise more and get that balance of energy in and energy out. And then you can use certain tools that we have in terms of magnesiums, in terms of chromium, in terms of hormonal regulators to deal with those metabolic situations there. And also then focusing on your sleep, making sure you're exercising properly, and obviously then eating correctly. So it's got to be a holistic approach, and you've got to do it now before these chronic diseases manifest. If they've already manifested, that's fine. You've still just got to follow the same process. It's just a longer road back. But as soon as you start to notice that weight gain, you've really got to think, okay, this is a sign of metabolic syndrome. It's not a sign of just, oh, I've eaten too much and I haven't exercised enough. There's a deeper situation that's going on. You've got to unwind this metabolic syndrome if you want to really lose weight. See the weight as a nice side effect of getting your body healthy again. Now, I know it's probably not what you want to hear. You want to hear that I can fix your weight gain in 7 days. It's not going to happen. It's a scam. And anyone that tells you that is trying to scam you, because it's impossible to happen. Yes, you can starve yourself and lose a couple of kilos, but it's going to come back more. All the science says that. So be smart about it. Make sure you work on these fundamentals of health and well-being. And we're here, our team are here to guide you towards that. So if you want some help, ask me questions and we can help you not only lose that weight, but take back your health and well-being so you age well into your 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s.